For the mise en scene, we tried to make it as realistic as possible and tried to keep the idea of an everyday man. The shots were carefully chosen in order to maximise the use of mise en scene. The opening shot itself is one that has a lot of connotations. The alarm clock itself is set really early, giving the impression of an everyday working man. We tried to include items on the bedside table that the average person would have. For example, book, light and a glass of water, although we filled the glass up so it looks like he hasn't actually touched it, and neatly put the books in a pile so it doesn't look like he's been reading them. We also included one book with the title My Shit Life So Far. This gives the impression that maybe he's not overly happy in his life. When he steps out of bed, you can clearly see on his socks, Grumpy Monday. This, along with the book, suggests again he's not overly happy with his life. It also gives the day, giving a suggestion of time. His clothes also played a big part. We decided to dress him in all black, due to this being a sign of mourning which fits in later on. Black also blends in with the crowd, also giving him a sense of the everyday man. We also used this to be able to change the ties, also to show the passing of time. This comes in handy later on, as we shot one tie with toothpaste down it. As we moved down to the kitchen, we tried to keep everything quite neat. This includes keeping the sides very clean and close together, showing he's quite organised but doesn't have time for much else.
We decided to have the key card glow green, as it's a very clear visualisation that he's alive. This continues as he walks into school and the office lady says hello. As he walks into the classroom, the class look up, yet seem disinterested. This shows how little effect he has on them.
He then turns around to write on the board. This cuts to the next scene, which repeats the routine twice more. We did this to show the boring repetitiveness of his life. This changes, however, when he wakes up to realise his alarm clock has not gone off. He then rushes to get ready. The props are really important in this shot, as his tie is covered in toothpaste, meaning he's unable to wear it. This trend continues when he burns his toast, the key card doesn't work, and the reception lady doesn't acknowledge him. This becomes extremely clear when he appears in his classroom to find a substitute teacher taking over. Despite arriving, the substitute doesn't pay any attention. This carries on as he runs into the common room and once again nobody pays attention, despite him shouting. We decided to use these as they were less obvious ideas that he was dead and a ghost. We next see him removing the memorial poster off the wall. The image is of himself and his name is shown to be Mr. Smith, again linking in with the idea that he's an everyday man. At this point we have him running out in fear. There is also a few Christmas decorations up around the sixth form centre, showing subtly the passing of time since yesterday. As he runs out, he seems to run into the road. Then you hear, but don't see, car tyres screeching. This gives us the idea that he was hit by a car, yet has no memory of it as we don't actually see the event. The sound of sirens and people shouting mix in with that of the alarm clock beeping. He then wakes up and hits his alarm. This gives our story an ending to be interpreted by the audience. One possible ending could be that it was all a dream, his subconscious thinking he's invisible or dead to the real world, and without him the world would just carry on. Another possible reading is that he died, yet being so stuck in his mundane, repetitive life that he doesn't actually realise this fact, and just continues, oblivious to that, in his routine of getting up, going to school and coming home.